Hello, Cozy Reviews. It's just I review it, and welcome back to the Friday the 13th franchise review remastered. Today we are taking a look at the fourth movie, Friday the 13th, the final chapter from 1984.
Screaming for. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason is back. He moves like a shadow, dark and silent.
Sorry to change your mind?
He never utters a word. He doesn't even seem to breathe.
Where the hell's the corkscrew?
He simply, mindlessly, mercilessly kills. But now, Jason's reign of terror is over. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. Jason's unlucky day.
So Friday the 13th, the final chapter, was released in 1984, and this movie was meant to be the very last Friday the 13th movie. Mainly because Jason had not been getting a good reputation in his movies. Parents were complaining, critics were not being very kind to these movies, and basically called them a bunch of garbage. So Paramount decided it would be best to probably end the series, but to go out with a bang, hoping that people will want more. So they decided to mark this as as Jason's final movie. Did it succeed? Well, let's find out. The movie actually opens up with a recap with a recap of the previous movies, and actually shows the event starts off at Higgins Haven after the last movie. Jason's totally dead body is being taken to a morgue where one of the coroners is a perverted jerk and starts flirting with one of the nurses. Jason, of course, wakes up, kills them, and heads back to Crystal Lake, where he sees a bunch of teens are heading over there for a weekend getaway, who happen to be moving, and who happen to have a house that's right across the street from the Jarvis family. There's the mother, the daughter Rachel, and her younger brother Tommy Jarvis, played in this film by Corey Feldman in his very first film role. Tommy is a weird kid obsessed with monster makeup and making masks. He also seems to have a lot of techno skills for being a 12-year-old. But then again, makes sense when you live in a small town. Anyway, so of course, with a bunch of teens having a party and a bunch of other ones showing up, like these two sets of twins, and this guy named Rick, who is hunting Jason down, we have enough people here for Jason to do his murder thing. As always. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure, I don't know why I'm even bothering, because at this point I'm pretty sure you can guess what the whole point is. I mean, it's the same formula. Teens go in the woods, having sex, doing drugs, and then all get slaughtered by Jason until the very end when Jason meets his grisly demise. But what sets this film apart is it was the second Friday the 13th film that Tom Savini managed to do the makeup for. Yes, the Tom Savini returned this time for the makeup, and man, was his return helpful. The makeup in this film is really well done. The kills are pretty damn good. There's nothing special about them, but there are some standouts. Like, for example, when the character Ted, who's played by Crispin Glover in his first film role too, is looking for a corkscrew to open up a bottle of wine, Jason stabs him into the hand with the corkscrew and shoves a cleaver in his face. So yeah. Then later on, he pins into the door with a bunch of nails. Sheesh, Jason, you think I'm a little too far on that one? But besides that, some of the kills are pretty self-explanatory. Anyway, this time Jason is played by Ted White, who is also a pretty good Jason, giving him a bit of a personality that he's a bit angry this time, and he's just killing people for absolutely no reason at this point. And the second film made clear why Jason was killing people. He considered the campground his territory, but now, yeah, he's just killing people for absolutely no reason. Tommy is also an interesting character. He's of course a weird kid, and Corey Feldman plays him pretty good. And a lot of people actually like to make that joke, especially the filmmakers, that Tommy's basically a young Tom Savini, considering Tom Savini is also responsible for some of the effects that Tommy creates in the film. However, the character of Rick, the Jason Hunter, he is totally pointless. You expect him to be the Dr. Loomis of the Friday the 13th films, the character that will hunt Jason down no matter what. But no, he gets killed in probably the most silliest way possible while he's in the shadows and screaming that he's being killed. Yeah, buddy, we know. You're getting killed. You don't need to yell it out. Spell it out for us. Anyway. So, wrapping up. Jason, of course, mutilates everybody. The teens across the other house, and also Mrs. Jarvis, the mother, for no real reason. The only people left are Rachel and Tommy, who of course get attacked by Jason, and Jason tries to kill them, which is weird. Why is he going after Tommy? It doesn't matter, never mind. Rachel drags Jason to the living room, and Tommy ends up shaving his head, I guess to look like Jason as a child. And Jason falls for it even harder than when Ginny just pretended to be his mother in part 2. Like, Jesus, not very smart, is he? But no, Jason takes the bait. Rachel knocks off his mask, revealing a completely different face than he had in the last movie. Apparently, since Tom Savini did the makeup, he did his idea of what a grown-up Jason would look like, and yeah, it looks pretty good. Then Tommy swoops in and slashes Jason in the face with his machete, and we see Jason fall over, his head slide down the blade, and at first you think it's over, but Tommy sees Jason twitching and just keeps hacking at him. And then the movie ends with Rachel in a hospital. Tommy shows up, and Tommy stares at the camera very menacingly, hinting that he's going to grow up to be just like Jason. Which actually is a good idea, that Jason's evil isn't passing on to someone else. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, is a pretty good film. It's actually one of my few favorites in the series, and if you actually want to watch any Friday the 13th film, watch this. That recap at the beginning is pretty much all you need to see. And it actually is a pretty good send-off for Jason. Well, it would have been. Of course, the film made a ton of money, and apparently I learned that there was an alternate ending to this film where Jason was supposed to be fully decapitated. But of course, they wanted to keep him around just in case they wanted to make another one. And I didn't mention this in my Part 3 review, but I read somewhere there was actually photos of an alternate ending where Jason kills Chris in a dream by decapitating her. A lot of decapitations in this series. Anyway, after this film, the series lay dormant for a while until the following year, but we'll take a look at that next time. Until then, I'm Cody the Reviewer, and see you there.